Good morning and thanks for joining us for KBUI 2 News Midday. I'm Rick Douglas. Now to your top 11 stories at 11. Dozens of Add the Words demonstrators were removed from the Capitol this morning as the group continues to push lawmakers to add the words sexual orientation and gender identity to Idaho's Human Rights Act. The group split in two, posting themselves outside both the Senate and House chambers. Today's demonstration is a follow-up to Friday's, in which protesters formed a human chain to wrap themselves around the Capitol. They say they hold out hope the legislature will revisit the issue before they wrap up the current session. Two men are in custody for trying to breach the grounds of the White House. The Secret Service says the first incident occurred last night when a man hopped a bike rack encircling the White House. Early this morning, a second man tried to go through a White House entrance by walking in behind an authorized pass holder. This morning's incident led to a temporary lockdown of the White House's north lawn. It has since been reopened. Bogus Basin has announced that General Manager Alan Moore is stepping down after leading the nonprofit for the last 3 years. Moore was first hired to be the Vice President of Finance. That was back in 2001. He was promoted to General Manager in 2011. His tenure saw some of the worst snow years in Bogus's history, but he still saw the resort as integral to the community and especially Treasure Valley youth.
We've really been able to reach out and connect with kids in an important way that changes their lives. He felt that getting kids up on the mountain, moving and active, was the best thing we could do for them, and he made a huge difference in doing that as general manager.
Bogus Basin says Nate Shake, the Director of Human Resources, will serve as interim general manager. A national search is underway for a new GM. Drivers in Canyon County need to be on the lookout for the next few days as crews begin working on the pavement on I-84. Crews will start on westbound I-84 from Midland Boulevard to Nampa to Franklin Road in Caldwell. The left lane will be closed through that stretch while workers seal cracks to protect the existing pavement. That work will last from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. beginning today and running until Thursday. Tomorrow night, the Boise City Council is expected to take up a plan for foothills expansion. It would call for buying 40 acres of undeveloped land off North Bogus Basin Road and add a new trailhead that would create better connectivity between the two. The purchase would cost the city $300,000, and the money would come from the city's 2001 $10 million foothills serial levy. There's still $1.9 million left in that fund to go toward projects like this one. Maryland Senator Barbara Mikulski this morning announced her retirement. That's significant because she's the longest-serving woman in the history of Congress. She was first elected to Congress in 1976 and has served in the Senate since 1987. Mikulski told reporters she still has 2 years left in her current term and hasn't written the last chapter in her career. Tempers are flaring on Capitol Hill as Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu prepares to deliver a speech to Congress. That address isn't until tomorrow, but today he made his case against a deal on Iran's nuclear program before the powerful pro-Israel lobby group AIPAC. While Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein plans to attend tomorrow's event before a joint session of Congress, dozens of other Democrats plan to boycott it. Nampa police are investigating what they're calling an altercation involving several juveniles on the grounds of Nampa High School. Police say the confrontation happened Saturday between twin 12-year-old boys who were visiting Nampa and some local kids. One of the twins suffered cuts to his arm, hand, and rib cage. The other twin also was injured when he tried to help his brother.
Physically, they're going to heal. The one is going to have scars. He's going to have scars from it. Physically, emotionally, they've had anger, like how could somebody do this to them, and now they don't even want to go out of my mother's house.
Nampa police tell us they have interviewed several juveniles who witnessed the incident. No word yet on what triggered the confrontation. According to the Idaho Statesman, the Simplot company is seeking damages from that huge pileup on the interstate in January of last year. The 44-car pileup shut down westbound I-84 near 10 Mile for hours on the morning of January 9, 2014. The paper says Simplot is suing the driver of a logging truck and his employer over damages caused when the loaded truck struck a Simplot tractor trailer. The company is seeking more than $25,000 in damages. Another winter storm pounded the East Coast last night, making a messy commute for drivers this morning. Boston got a few more inches of snow from the storm and now needs just 4 more inches to break their all-time record, which is 107 inches. Winter storms have cost Massachusetts more than $100 million already this year. Near Providence, Rhode Island, meanwhile, firefighters braved the cold and snow while fighting this fire. Crews had a hard time finding hydrants that were buried in all the snow. A marijuana shop opened Sunday in Washington state against the wishes of the county where it's located. The pot shop, called the Gallery, opened in defiance of an order from Pierce County. The shop has a license from the state and says dozens of medical marijuana dispensaries, which are also banned, already are open in Pierce County. Shop owners say they don't care about getting the county's blessing, they just want to be left alone. Customers say they're happy to have a reliable local source.